Part 198. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1971. Chapter 1971. If you keep talking nonsense, your mouth will be torn apart. Asterisk. Early the next morning, Chiao Mian got up. After washing, she followed Mo Yesi downstairs. Miss, Uncle the maid saw them and called respectfully. At this time, Mrs. Bai came out of the kitchen wearing an apron. Mian, you're up. Mrs. Bai walked towards them, just in time. I've just made breakfast. You guys go to the dining room and sit down, I'll have someone bring it out right away. Mom, why are you cooking by yourself? Chiao Mian asked, looking at Mrs. Bai's apron. I got up early, and I had nothing to do anyway. So I went to the kitchen and made you some breakfast. I didn't know what you like to eat, so I made some. Go try it and see if it suits your taste. Mrs. Bai rarely cooks at home. Chiao Mian also knows this. So she was a little touched when she saw Mrs. Bai getting up early in the morning and cooking breakfast for her. She walked over and gently held Mrs. Bai's hand. Mom, you don't need to cook by yourself in the future. I can just eat a little in the morning. You're not at home often. If Mom can make you a meal, just make one. Besides, you must have a good breakfast, and you can't just eat it casually. Chiao Mian. Okay, come on over, I'll go to the kitchen and have a look. After Mrs. Bai finished speaking, she turned and went to the kitchen. Chiao Mian felt a little uncomfortable looking at Mrs. Bai's busy figure. She felt that she would have to take more time to come back and see Mrs. Bai in the future. Your mother is very good to you, Mo Yesi said. Yeah, Chiao Mian nodded. She always felt sorry for me and said she wanted to make it up to me. By the way, my mother gave me a card last night, saying that she didn't give me anything when we got married, so she just took it as a gift. It's my wedding gift. Chiao Mian didn't need to tell Mo Yesi about this, but she still did. Because she feels that once she gets married, she becomes a family. Mo Yesi smiled. You take what Mom gave you. As for how you want to use it, that's your freedom. Chiao Mian nodded. I think so too, so I accepted it. Take it, she will feel better if you take it. Let's go and have breakfast. Asterisk. Mrs. Bai made a sumptuous breakfast. There are Western food and Chinese food. Although Mrs. Bai rarely cooks, her cooking skills are good. Even a picky person like Mo Yesi praised the taste. After dinner, Chiao Mian received a call from Bai Yusheng, saying that she would be home in a few minutes and asked her to get ready before leaving. Mrs. Bai was naturally very reluctant to part with her. She pulled Chiao Mian and spoke a lot reluctantly. Let her pay attention to her body and not be too tired or work too hard. 5 minutes later, Bai Yusheng arrived. Because Chiao Mian went to the promotional meeting with Bai Yusheng, there was no need for Mo Yesi to send her off. Mo Yesi is still a little dissatisfied with this matter. After all, with him here, there is no need for anyone else to pick up and drop off my wife. Chiao Mian got into Bai Yusheng's car, and Bai Yusheng first took her to a styling center for styling. The stylist and Bai Yusheng knew each other. When he saw Bai Yusheng leading a very pretty little girl over, he joked, "Is Mr. Bai going to take his girlfriend to some banquet? This little girl looks so good, he's so handsome, he seems to be quite young, where did you abduct him from?" Bai Yusheng stepped forward and said, "What kind of girlfriend? This is my sister. If you talk nonsense again, your mouth will be torn apart." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1972. Chapter 1972. Chiao Mian is a natural beauty. The stylist was stunned. Master Bai's sister? Master Bai, when did you recognize your sister? Just when the stylist was about to joke about whether she was her lover's sister, Bai Yusheng gave her a warning look. Don't talk nonsense, this is my biological sister Chiao Mian Mian. Sister. The stylist had an expression of extreme surprise on his face. He didn't think Bai Yusheng was joking, so he couldn't help but look at Chiao Mian Mian a few more times, and then asked in a low voice, does Mr. Bai mean his biological sister with the same father and mother? Having different fathers and the same mother, how can we still be biological sisters? The stylist was stunned again, with a shocked expression on his face. Bai Yusheng's biological sister from both father and mother? When did he get a biological sister? I have heard that the Bai family has a daughter who lives outside the home. I have been looking for her for more than 10 years but have not been able to find her. Could it be that this is the golden phoenix living outside? Give her a good look. Bai Yusheng pulled Chiao Mian Mian to his side. She is going to attend a new drama promotion meeting. She doesn't need to make it too grand, just be a little casual. This stylist is a well-known stylist in the industry. How many top-tier brands have you styled? Bai Yusheng personally brought the person over and claimed that she was his biological sister. How dare the stylist neglect her in the slightest? He smiled and said, don't worry, Mr. Bai, I know how to do it. After finishing speaking, he looked at Chiao Mian Mian again. His tone and eyes were much more polite than before. Miss Chiao, please come with me. Chiao Mian Mian glanced at Bai Yusheng. Bai Yusheng touched her head and said in a very gentle voice, go, this is Jerry, who specializes in styling artists. You are going to a promotional meeting, so you can't just go. You still need to dress up a little. Chiao Mian Mian nodded, looking obedient and clever. Brother, I'll go then. Yeah. Bai Yusheng touched her head again, I'll wait for you. Jerry standing aside was so surprised that his eyes almost fell to the ground. After all, he had never seen Bai Yusheng speak so gently to others. Not only did he personally bring a woman to him for styling, but she was also willing to wait here. So this female artist named Chiao Mian Mian is really his long-lost sister. Thinking of this, Jerry's attitude towards Chiao Mian Mian became more and more polite. Ms. Chiao, we just mopped the floor and it's still a little slippery, please slow down. Asterisk. Jerry is a well-known stylist in the industry, specializing in styling first-line artists. Happy at packaging the artist's image, he is already very good at it. Often, he only needs to look at you to know what style of makeup, hairstyle, and clothing you are suitable for. Chiao Mian Mian has outstanding appearance. Even though Jerry had seen many beauties in the industry, Chiao Mian Mian's appearance still surprised him. And he can also see that Chiao Mian Mian is a natural beauty. Those who work in his profession have very poisonous eyes. But he can tell anyone who has had plastic surgery, even if it's just minor adjustments. Many artists who have had plastic surgery are not as beautiful as Chiao Mian Mian after plastic surgery. But Chiao Mian Mian didn't move her face at all, but she instantly killed many female artists who had moved their faces. While Jerry was putting makeup on her, he kept repeating one word in his mind, natural beauty. The genes of the Bai family are good. Bai Yusheng is a well-known person in the entire director circle who can rely on his face but must rely on his talent to make a living. Now, his sister has become the most outstanding among many female artists. Are the two brothers and sisters trying to dominate the entire entertainment industry with their looks? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1973. Chapter 1973. She is also very low-key. Chiao Mian Mian's facial features are already very good looking, and her lips are red and her teeth are white even when she is barefaced. So Jerry only put on light makeup on her, and the makeup effect would not be very obvious. She looked like she had a very good complexion, but it was more refined than when she was without makeup. Then he gave her a bud hairdo to match her makeup. Finally, pair it with a simple and elegant off-shoulder white A-line skirt, which looks fresh and energetic. It didn't take much time. In less than an hour, all of Chiao Mianmian's styles were done. "Miss Chiao, are you satisfied with this?" Jerry led her to a mirror. The time spent on Chiao Mianmian's styling is much less than the time spent on other female artists. Her appearance conditions are there, and she doesn't need to dress up too much. She is already stunning with a little modification. Chiao Mianmian looked in the mirror, thinking that no wonder Jerry was a famous stylist in the circle, and the styles he created were indeed very good. The style he designed for her was the kind that Chiao Mianmian liked. It was not exaggerated. Although it was simple, it could still be worn in formal occasions. "Thank you, Teacher Jerry, I am very satisfied." Jerry looked at her and smiled, a trace of hesitation flashed in his eyes, and after a few seconds he asked softly, "Miss Chiao, can I ask you a question?" "Huh?" Chiao Mianmian looked at him doubtfully. "What does Teacher Jerry want to ask?" "Is young Master Bai really your biological brother?" Jerry said with curiosity in his eyes. "I heard that young Master Bai has a sister, but she was separated from the Bai family when she was very young. Is his sister you?" Many people don't know that Chiao Mianmian was brought back by the Bai family. Because the Bai family has not made it public. Chiao Mianmian had no intention of making it public. So except for some people who have good relations with the Bai family, most people are unaware of this matter. But Chiao Mianmian didn't want to hide anything. She doesn't want to make it public, she just doesn't want to be too high profile. But if someone asked, she would not hide it. She nodded, "Yeah." "Are you really the daughter of the Bai family who has been living abroad?" Jerry really believed it now. He looked Chiao Mianmian up and down again, thinking that he was indeed of the Bai family's blood. Looks good and has a good temperament. It is indeed not like a girl born in an ordinary family. It's hard for a female artist with her background to join the entertainment industry. My elder brother is a famous director, his parents are from a wealthy family, and he has sufficient capital. With such conditions, it is difficult not to become popular. But speaking of it, she is very low-key. Even though she has such a good background, she has not made it public, and many people have mistakenly thought that her background is not good enough, which is why she has so much dirty information. If others knew that she was the daughter of the Bai family, would they dare to have so many people attack her? At that time, there will probably be many people who want to get close to her and flatter her. Asterisk. Chiao Mianmian got dressed and followed Jerry out. "Mr. Bai, Miss Chiao's style is ready." Bai Yushen was sitting in the rest area, flipping through a magazine in his hand, and raised his head when he heard the words. He looked at Chiao Mianmian for a while, nodded, stood up and walked towards her. "Well, not bad. Mianmian, what do you think?" Chiao Mianmian nodded. "Now that the styling is done, it's almost time, let's go to the promotional meeting." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1974. Chapter 1974. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of Chiao Mianmian. The first promotional meeting was held in Yuncheng. Half an hour later, Bai Yusheng parked the car in the underground parking lot of a hotel. The promotion meeting was held in a 5-star hotel. All the major media in Yuncheng had already arrived. Chiao Mianmian followed Bai Yusheng off the car and took the elevator. While waiting for the elevator, she met Chiao Angzhen, who had also come to take the elevator. Chiao Angzhen was dressed up, wearing a tight black skirt with a very low neckline. Even though she was wearing sunglasses, it could be seen that her face was heavily made up. She wore her hair loose, covering most of her face, and with the sunglasses on the bridge of her nose, almost her entire face was covered. It is difficult for ordinary people to recognize her. But Chiao Mianmian recognized her at a glance. She and Qiao Angzhen have lived under the same roof for so many years, and she can recognize Qiao Angzhen even if his whole face is covered. Qiao Angzhen is not alone. There was another person beside her. He is a man who looks to be about 50 years old. He is short and fat. Because he is too fat, the features on his face are squeezed together. Standing next to Qiao Angzhen, he is half a head shorter than Qiao Angzhen. The man's hand was around Qiao Angzhen's waist, and he seemed to be in a very intimate manner. Qiao Angzhen was chatting and laughing with the man. When she saw Qiao Mian, her body suddenly stiffened, as if frozen, and her limbs suddenly seemed particularly stiff. The man next to her seemed to sense something strange about her. He raised his head and looked at her, and said affectionately, "What's the matter, honey?" Qiao Mian looked at the man, then at Qiao Angzhen, with a slight smile on her lips. She had heard about Qiao Angzhen before. But this was the first time I saw what the man next to Qiao An was like. At this moment, Qiao Mian felt that Qiao Angzhen was cruel to her. At any rate, she had been with Suzy for a while. No matter what Suzy is, he is much better than the short, fat old man next to her. For the sake of popularity, she can force herself to be with such a man, which is really cruel. This man looks older than Qiao's father. Qiao Angzhen didn't expect to meet Qiao Mian here. Moreover, they collided head-on. As soon as she saw Qiao Mian's eyes, she knew that Qiao Mian must have recognized her. For a moment, Qiao Angzhen felt a deep sense of shame and anger. Especially the look in Qiao Mian's eyes made her feel despised. Let Qiao Mian see this scene, which is more difficult for her to accept than letting her accompany these old men. She can embarrass herself in front of anyone. The only thing he didn't want to do was embarrass himself in front of Qiao Mian. Baby, seeing that she didn't say anything, the man next to her looked at her doubtfully, then followed Qiao Angzhen's gaze and looked at Qiao Mian. The moment the man's eyes fell on Qiao Mian, his big eyes lit up instantly. He seemed to have lost his soul, staring at Qiao Mian blankly. The man's reaction made Qiao An's heart even more angry. Even though Qiao Angzhen hated the old man next to her. But when she saw the old man's reaction as if he had lost his soul when he saw Qiao Mian, and never looked at her again, she still felt very angry. Why do these men behave like this when they see Qiao Mian? Every one of them is as if they have been possessed. This little Qiao Mian is a vixen who specializes in seducing men. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1975. Chapter 1975. She is not interested in getting to know you. Baby, do you know this lady? The old man was shocked when he saw Qiao Mian. He turned around and asked Qiao Angzhen, as if he wanted to get to know Qiao Mian. Qiao Angzhen bit her lip. She finally stopped hiding her hatred and rejection of Qiao Mian and said in a cold voice, "We know him, but we're not familiar with him." Hearing that she said they knew each other, the old man immediately said, "Do you know each other? Then why don't you introduce me?" After finishing speaking, the old man did not wait for Qiao Angzhen to say anything, then turned his head again, looked at Qiao Mian with a smile and said, "Hello, young lady, my name is Fang Ji, I wonder what the lady's name is. We get to know each other? I think the lady looks a lot like a friend of mine, and it's fate that we meet here. Why don't we exchange contact information, and we can come out to have tea together when we are free in the future." Qiao Mian met the man's gaze and frowned. Her face darkened, and just when she was about to speak, she heard Bai Yisheng say coldly, "She's not interested in getting to know you." The old man was stunned when he heard Bai Yisheng's voice, as if he just realized that there was someone standing next to Qiao Mian, and looked at Bai Yisheng in surprise. Seeing Bai Yisheng, the old man was stunned again, and his expression suddenly changed. He put away the unhappy expression on his face, immediately showed a flattering smile, pretended to be surprised, and said flatteringly, "I was blind, and I didn't even see that young Master Bai was there. What does young Master Bai want here? Is it something? Have you made an appointment for lunch? If not, how about I serve as the host for lunch today, and we can have dinner with you, Mr. Bai? Who are you, asking me to give you face? Are you worthy of me giving you face?" Bai Yasheng didn't give the old man any face, and said with a stern face, "I think you are indeed blind. You were blind and didn't see you chatting up. Who is the woman with?" The old man never expected that Bai Yasheng would fall out instantly. "And you still don't give him face?" He glanced at Jiao Mian, who was standing with Bai Yasheng, and then at Bai Yasheng, who had a gloomy face. Thinking of some possibility, his face turned pale with fright. The old man didn't know the relationship between Bai Yasheng and Jiao Mian. "I only thought that Jiao Mian was Bai Yasheng's person, so Bai Yasheng was so angry." Thinking that he had struck up a conversation with Bai Yasheng's woman, he looked horrified and immediately lowered his head and apologized repeatedly, "Mr. Bai, it's my fault that I'm blind. It's my fault that I'm blind." Bai Yasheng looked at him with disgust. The elevator door opens. Bai Yasheng turned to Jiao Mian and said, Mian, let's go." Jiao Mian nodded and followed him into the elevator. After the two of them entered the elevator, even though there was extra space in the elevator, the old man did not dare to take Jiao Angzhen in. Jiao Angzhen felt very angry. She hated the feeling of being overwhelmed by Jiao Mian everywhere. The group of perverted old men she took care of were groveling like dogs in front of Bai Yasheng. As for such a humble dog-like man, she had to take care of her in order to gain one or two resources. The more Jiao Angzhen thought about it, the more she hated it. The nails of her clenched fists were almost embedded in her flesh. The elevator door closed. Although the old man was frightened, he still felt itchy in his heart when he thought of Jiao Mian's frightened face. He has had so many women. But there is no one as beautiful as Jiao Mian. That kind of extremely pure appearance will give people the desire to destroy. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1976. Chapter 1976. If it wasn't Bai Yasheng, who else could it be? The old man looked in the direction of the elevator reluctantly, with a distracted expression on his face. Jiao Angzhen turned her head, and when she saw the old man's appearance, she was almost overwhelmed with anger. She held back her anger and said, "Mr. Fang, Mr. Quan is still waiting for us. Should we go up? This old man is a big customer of Quan Dong." Quan Dong wanted to sign an order with him, so he took a resource and asked Jiao Angzhen to accompany him. As long as the old man can agree to sign the contract, Jiao Angzhen can get the resources. That's a great resource. So Jiao Angzhen agreed to Quan Dong's arrangement and accompanied the old man to have dinner with Quan Dong tonight. Hearing her voice, the old man seemed to have just come to his senses. He turned his head and asked excitedly, "Baby, do you know the woman next to Mr. Bai? Do you know who she is?" Seeing that the old man was still thinking about Jiao Mian, Jiao Angzhen was furious. She looked a little ugly and said, "That's my sister, her name is Jiao Mian. She is an artist like me." "Your sister?" The old man was surprised for a moment, and then his eyes lit up. "Since she is your sister, why do you say we are not familiar with her? You little rascal, are you still coaxing me? When will you ask your sister out? Let's have a meal together." "We don't have a good relationship." Jiao Angzhen looked at the old man's shining eyes and felt very angry. She knew what the old man had planned. Even though she hates this old man in her heart, she must not let others take him away now. She poured cold water on the old man and said, "Mr. Fang, my sister already has a boyfriend. If her boyfriend knows that she goes out to eat with other men, I'm afraid he will be angry." "Boyfriend?" The old man was stunned for a moment and frowned. "Are you talking about Bai Yusheng? I think Bai Yusheng is just playing with her and won't take her seriously. Wait until she leaves Bai Yusheng, and then treat her, make an appointment. If you can accomplish this, you will be indispensable for your benefit in the future." "Mr. Fang, I'm afraid that's not possible. Bai Yusheng is not my sister's boyfriend, her boyfriend is someone else." "Your sister's boyfriend is someone else. If not Bai Yusheng, who else could it be?" "It's not Bai Yusheng. Why was he so protective just now?" Qiao Angzhen looked at him and said word by word, "It's Mo Yesi. Mo Yesi, the president of Mo Group. And my sister is his serious girlfriend and will not break up easily." "What, Mo Yesi?" The old man was startled and his expression changed. Ye Qiao Angzhen nodded. The old man's face changed with fright. The little thought he had originally had completely disappeared. "Don't dare to think about anything anymore. Xiao wants to be President Mo's girlfriend. He wants to live for 2 more years. What a pity. Such a stunning beauty, she is the best at first glance, but you can only look at her but not touch her." The old man suddenly felt bored. As he was thinking about Jiao Mian, he didn't even have much interest in Qiao Angzhen. "At first I thought Qiao Angzhen was a beauty. But compared with her elder sister, the gap is really huge. Mr. Fang, let's go up quickly." As the elevator came down, Qiao Angzhen took the initiative to save the old man and urged him again. "Baby, I suddenly remembered that I have something else to do." The old man no longer looked down on Qiao Angzhen. He pushed her hand away, and in Qiao Angzhen's stunned eyes, he said with a smile. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1977. Chapter 1977. It's all because of that little Qiao Mian. You tell Mr. Quan and we will make an appointment again. When the sky is changed I will come to treat you another day. I'm really in a hurry now and I have to go there right away. Qiao Angzhen's expression changed. "Mr. Fang, what's the emergency? I need you to go immediately. You have made an appointment with Mr. Quan, and Mr. Quan is still waiting for you." "Baby, I do have something important to do. Be good and wait until I make it up to you next time." After the old man finished speaking, as if he was afraid that Qiao Angzhen would still pester him, he turned around and left quickly. She didn't give Qiao Angzhen any time to react at all. By the time Qiao Angzhen reacted, the old man had left and walked far away. Qiaoan was stunned in place, and when she realized what had happened, her face looked as ugly as possible. At this moment, her cell phone rang. She saw that it was Quan Dong calling, and she nervously clenched her phone. The bell rang for a while before she picked it up with an uneasy look on her face. A gloomy voice came from the other side. "I asked you to pick up Mr. Fang. Why haven't you picked him up yet?" Qiao Angzhen is a little afraid of Quan Dong. The old man left, which meant that she had not completed her task and made Quan Dong wait for so long. She hesitated and said, "Mr. Fang, he said he had something urgent and just left." "Fang Ji is gone." Quan Dong was silent for a while, and then said angrily, "Didn't I ask you to bring people here? Didn't you tell him that I was waiting for him?" "I said it." Qiao Angzhen turned pale with fright, bit her lip, and replied after a few seconds, "But, Mr. Fang said that he had something very important and had to leave immediately. He said that next time he would be a host." "Mr. Quan eats." "You idiot. What's the next time?" Quan Dong said angrily. "If he leaves at this time, there won't be a next time. You can't even handle such a simple thing if I leave it to you. How can you still? What is the use?" "Mr. Quan, You don't have to come up." Qiao Angzhen was a little panicked when she heard Quan Dong's cold voice, "Mr. Kwon, what about my spokesperson?" Kwon Dong promised her before that he would give her a first-line endorsement. "Do you still want to be endorsed? During this period of time, your workload will be reduced. Later work arrangements will depend on your performance in the future. That's it, you can go back." Kwon Dong hung up the phone after speaking. Chiao Angzan listened to the disconnection sound coming from her cell phone, and was so angry that she almost dropped her cell phone on the ground. The first-line endorsement was already scheduled for her. This matter is already a sure thing. But now, her endorsement is gone. All this is because of that little Chiao Mian. It was after Fang Ji met that little that he suddenly became indifferent to her and asked to leave. Chiao Angzan was angry at first, but after she was angry, she became more afraid and worried. Kwon Dong said that she would reduce her workload. But her current exposure is not enough. If she reduces her workload, she is afraid that her popularity will drop sharply. In the entertainment industry where newcomers emerge in large numbers, once your popularity drops, you may soon be replaced by others. Asterisk. In the elevator. Seeing Chiao Mian lowering her head and not speaking, Bai Yisheng thought she was angry because of what happened just now, so he comforted her. Mian, if you are unhappy, can I help you fix that Fang Ji? How can you fix him? How to fix him? Brother, I'm not unhappy. Chiao Mian raised her head with a thoughtful expression on her face. After a while, she continued, I was just thinking about one thing. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1978. Chapter 1978. Everyone needs different things. What's up? I wonder if fame and fortune are really that important. For fame and fortune, you can do anything. Bai Yisheng was stunned for a moment, and then he guessed that she was probably talking about Chiao Angzan. After thinking about it, he replied, for some people, it is indeed very important. They can also sacrifice everything to gain fame and wealth. Everyone needs different things, but everything is your own choice. Only you know best whether it is worth it or not. Chiao Mian nodded and said nothing more. Asterisk. Arrived at the promotional venue. When Bai Yisheng and Chiao Mian walked into the venue, the seats below were already filled with reporters from major media. Several leading actors in the play are also here. As soon as Chiao Mian appeared, the flashlight below kept taking pictures of her. She walked to the stage and saw Chin Han standing aside. She stepped forward and greeted him proactively, Brother Chin. Chin Han also smiled and greeted her. 10 minutes later, all relevant personnel arrived and the publicity meeting officially began. The reporters sitting below each have a chance to ask questions. The host first introduced the new drama, and then turned the topic to the various actors. Most netizens know that Chin Han is challenging a role that is completely different from your original personality and has not even been tried before. I want to know if this is difficult for you. After all, we all know, you have rarely done TV series in recent years, and there are still differences in acting between movies and TV series. Is it possible that you are used to acting in movies, and suddenly you change to acting in TV series, and you can't adapt to it for a while? If this is the case, how do you adjust? Chin Han is the male protagonist and the most famous among them all. The host will naturally ask him the first question. After the host finished asking, he handed a microphone to Chin Han. Chin Han took it with a faint smile on his face. After thinking carefully for a moment, he answered the host, I am used to acting in movies, but I am really not used to acting in TV series. There are indeed some differences in the performance modes of the two. It's different. If you ask me if I felt uncomfortable, I definitely did at the beginning. But how can you overcome it? I think as a professional actor, adjusting your performance status in time is just a basic skill. You can give yourself a period of discomfort, but this period cannot be too long. In my case, you can only adapt to it for an hour at most. In an hour, I have to enter a new state. The host had an expression of admiration on his face and said some complimentary words that he was worthy of being a multiple-time best actor. After asking Chin Han, it was now his turn to ask Xiao Mian. Ms. Xiao, this should be your first TV series, right? It's also your first TV series as the heroine. After the film came out, your acting skills have been recognized by many netizens. I would like to ask you about your first TV series. Do you feel a lot of pressure to play the lead role in your first TV series? Are you afraid that you won't be recognized by the audience if you don't perform well? After all, everyone is paying attention to your role now. Xiao Mian smiled, her voice was soft and thin, and she said unhurriedly, the pressure is actually very high, because I am really afraid that I will not be recognized by the audience. So I will try my best to do this well. It's something. I think if you really try your best, no matter what the result is, you can accept it. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1979. Chapter 1979. What does Bai Yusheng really have in mind for her? But I still believe that I will not disappoint everyone. All our actors are working hard, and the director is also putting his heart into making this movie. I can say with my chest that this is definitely a movie that you will not regret after watching it. A great drama. I hope everyone will support our new drama after it is aired on the Stars. The host asked a few questions to the two of them respectively, and then entered the reporters' question session. Generally, before attending an event, the organizer will inform reporters in advance what questions can and cannot be asked. So reporters will not ask questions that should not be asked. But there are those reporters who take advantage of the opportunity to gain attention. After the reporters asked normal questions in the previous part, towards the end of the publicity meeting, a reporter stood up and asked Xiao Mian loudly into the microphone, Miss Xiao, can you tell me what the scandal between you and Mr. Gong is about? There are rumors outside that you and young Master Gong have an ambiguous relationship. Although you have refuted the rumors many times, this time you went to Ningcheng to shoot, and some people said that you also saw young Master Gong outside. Is this a coincidence, or young Master Gong is just accompanying you? Did he go with you? Can you explain this matter to all of us? As soon as the reporter finished speaking, the host's face changed. Because such a question is definitely not allowed to be asked. The host was about to stop him when he saw Bai Yusheng on the side, darkened his face and asked the reporter coldly, which media are you from? What kind of questions should be asked, what kind of questions should not be asked, you know? The reporter was stunned for a moment and looked like he was about to refute, Director Bai, I. However, Bai Yusheng did not give him any chance to speak out. He directly said to the security guard standing in the audience, take this unruly reporter out. The security guard turned around and walked towards the reporter who asked the question. With the reporter's reluctance, he was forcibly taken away from the venue. Such a sudden disturbance made everyone stunned. The host was better able to adapt to the situation. He was the first to come to his senses and immediately spoke out to smooth things over, everyone should be measured and don't ask questions that you shouldn't ask. That's all for today. If you have any questions, let's wait until we have a chance to ask. Saw the reporter who was kicked out. The reporters on the scene dared to ask any more questions. However, after seeing with their own eyes how Bai Yusheng defended Xiao Mian just now, the reporters secretly thought that this scandal should be spread between Xiao Mian and Bai Yusheng. When did Bai Yusheng defend any female artist like this? His treatment of Xiao Mian was very unusual. And the two of them came to the venue together before. Recalling that Bai Yusheng had an affair with Xiao Mian before, the reporters couldn't help but look at the two with a bit more ambiguity. Jiao Mian is very good looking. She is the kind of beauty that any man can easily fall in love with when he sees her. Perhaps Bai Yisheng really has something in mind for her. Asterisk. When the promotional meeting was over, Bai Yisheng had to participate in other activities, so he separated from Jiao Mian. Qin Han also had to make an announcement. He chatted with Jiao Mian for a while, asked about the current situation, and soon left with his manager. Jiao Mian will also have to attend an announcement later, and can rest for 2 or 3 hours in the middle. She was hesitating whether to go to the Mo family to find Mo Yesi, when her cell phone rang. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1980. Chapter 1980. But this time, I will never make a mistake again. The caller ID shows a series of unfamiliar numbers. Jiao Mian blocked Suzy before. He suspected that this number was also called by Suzy, so he hung up the phone immediately. Just when I was about to block this account, I received a text message, "My name is Gong Zili. Jiao Mian, can we talk? I want to tell you about what happened 10 years ago." After reading the text message, Jiao Mian moved her finger away from the words blacklist. The phone rang again. It was Gong Zili who called again. Jiao Mian hesitated for a moment and then picked up. "Jiao Mian, have you seen the message I sent you?" Gong Zili's voice came over. "Are you free now, or when are you free? Let's find a time to talk." Jiao Mian felt very complicated after receiving a call from Gong Zili. Before, she was not sure about Gong Zili's feelings for her. "I also wonder if she is being too sentimental." But now, ever since she was sure that Gong Zili really had feelings for her, Jiao Mian's mood was completely different when facing him again. Even if she is just talking to him on the phone and not face to face, she still feels uncomfortable. "Mr. Gong, I think it's inappropriate for you to call me. I don't think there is anything to talk about between us." Jiao Mian refused without thinking. She was already avoiding suspicion even before she was sure what Gong Zili was thinking about her. "Now that I know his thoughts, I don't want to have anything to do with him." How could she go to meet Gong Zili alone in private? "I just want to talk to you about that incident 10 years ago." Gong Zili was silent for a while and then said again, "Mr. Gong, I think you may have made a mistake." Jiao Mian said in a cold voice, "I didn't go to the Gong family 10 years ago, and I couldn't have saved you. Although I don't know why you took me, I recognized you as your savior, but I want to say that I really wasn't, and I really didn't save you. I didn't make a mistake." Miyazawa seemed a little angry and his voice deepened. "You did attend my birthday party 10 years ago. You don't remember it because you had a car accident later. Because of that car accident, you forgot a lot of things that year. I made a mistake once and mistook someone else for you, but this time, I will never make a mistake again." Car accident. Jiao Mian was stunned for a moment, with a hint of surprise on her face. She did remember that many years ago, she was in a car accident. But Gong Zili said that because of the car accident, she forgot that she had been to his birthday party, and then saved him at his birthday party. Jiao Mian didn't know whether what he said was true or false. But to her, it doesn't matter whether it's true or false. Even if she really saved Gong Zili that night, the incident would have no meaning to her. On the contrary, she felt that it was good to forget. If she really saved Gong Zili that night, according to her temperament, she would save as many people as she could when she saw someone in danger. If it were anyone else, as long as she could save him, she would save him. But Miyazawa seemed to take this matter very seriously. Jiao Mian was silent for a while, then spoke again, and said in a calm tone, "Mr. Gong, I really don't remember what you said." End of this chapter.